All right, well, I am doing an Octordle today. Now, if you're familiar with Quordle, this is just like Quordle times 2. If you're not familiar with Quordle and you're familiar with Wordle, this is like Wordle times 8. And if you're not familiar with Wordle, then I don't know what rock you've been living under. But basically, we're trying to guess 8 5-letter words. Every guess that we make will apply to all 8 words. So it's very interesting. This is it's not May yet, it's March. This is March 7th, and I am going to look at the daily Octordle. Now, I've kind of made it all fit on screen here the best I can, but it means I had to shrink everything down a lot on the website because it lists them all kind of in a vertical line and you scroll, but I didn't want to have to scroll on the video, so. Anyways, hopefully this looks okay and isn't too pixelated because I had to shrink it way down to fit it on the screen and then stick it in the capture window and then make it big again. Anyways, if it looks a little fuzzy, that's why. So I got a new strategy so I've done before where you start with like a do, an audio, and you try and get all the vowels right away, and the vowels are good, but sometimes there's gonna be vowels in every word, and so you get A and E, and you don't know what the consonants are, and it's like, well, okay, there's 1,000 words this could be. So the other thing that happens, I've noticed, is if you use, I like to use the Wheel of Fortune letters a lot of times, but it seems like in Quordle, when you get the common letters, because they're common, they show up, but again, you don't have that in, you need the F and the B and the G, and some of these, I don't think X and Z are good ones to guess generally because they're not going to show up much. But some of these ones that are probably going to be in one of the words when we have 8 of them, I think are good to get in there. So I'm going to do fishy to start and then power because I think the F and the H and the P and W is not too bad. Some of these are good to get in there. Now, I've got a couple of options for my third word. I'm gonna look at what we have first. So we don't have a lot. Interesting, the second word up here, we've got all the letters already. Fires is what I would think, but it's not. The F and I can't be the first and second one, and the E can't be fourth, so. The E is probably at the end, right? Most likely, that's the most likely place for an E usually. It doesn't necessarily have to be there. Wow, I'm having trouble just thinking of a word that, reefs? Could be that. But the question is, do I want to guess that, or do I want to just wait until I can confirm some more information? Now, we've got this word, let's see, where is it? Down here. We're gonna call this word 5. We're gonna call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, unless I forget and call them something else. This one, we've got the P. Okay, so it's gotta be PH. No, it could be phony. Phony seems likely. Phony seems good. So we've got maybe reefs and phony. Now, the third word that I'm planning is either gland or bland. So I'm trying to see if I wanna guess a G or a B, basically. The third word here is interesting. So we've got something I, something ER, which could be a lot of things. It could be like river, for one thing, because we could repeat the R. Could be liver. Gland or bland will help us with that one. So I'm not really seeing anything that jumps out at me as, oh, I want to guess a G, or oh, I want to guess a B. It's not looking at this point like an ING is likely. We could have an ING in this word here, number 6. Potentially, there's just the I so far. So I'm gonna go with bland, I think, and hope for the best here. Ooh, and we got a B down here on our 8th word, so that's good. All right, so let's go back to the one. What was the one we wanted to have? Okay, so phony. Yep, we're pretty sure it's got to be phony now. It's literally forced with the way the letters are. So we might as well do phony. Okay, and that also let us check another spot for the O in a couple of these words. So reefs still looks possible. Phony. What other words do we have anything on? This one we've got O, A, I, and D. So, but the D is not. The D could be. Not sure. Okay, let's look at the one that we thought might be river or liver or something. It has an N, so it's not river. It could be, no, it can't have an L. So it's either N-I something E-R. Doesn't seem likely. I think it's something I-N-E-R. It could be, let's see, it can't be diner. It could be minor. That seems like, I mean, there's not a lot of options. Niner, I guess. Niner or minor. I don't think, yeah, Reiner's not a word. So minor seems like the most likely option there. Niner is a possibility. So let's see if there's something we can do where we would use another M or an N. And what about this one here? We've got, oh, it's piano. Look at that. We've got, that one's forced also. Piano, okay. Now that didn't help us with this one at all, because the N and the I. Did it help us anywhere else? It did down here. It gave us another yellow O, but we know where the O is, so. Okay, so this is probably D-O something, E something. Either that or the D is third, but it's gotta be, oh, interesting. So what's interesting here is, so we know it's something O, something E, something, right? Now, the most likely candidate at the end for E is probably D or R, and it can't be D or R. It can't be N, so what could it could be another E potentially. Otherwise, it's gotta be one of these letters that we haven't used yet. The keyboard here shows us which letters we haven't used. So EX is possible. ET would be good. What would it be though? Could be M. So D-O something E-M, something like that. Modem. I like modem there. Modem seems really good. Very likely. So we think modem. We also think minor on this one. So the M there would be helpful for either way. So the question is, which one do we want to guess? Let's look at some of the others for now. Let's remember modem and minor. Over here we've got B, L, A, and E, but it's interesting because B you would think most likely is going to be at the beginning of a word. Maybe that's not true, but I feel like it is. And the E is probably at the end. Now, that's also interesting. So there's no A in the third position, which again, if the E was at the end, you know, consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant E is a likely scenario, but we can't put an A there, and we can't put an I, O. Oh, we could have a U still. We haven't done anything with U. What if the A is at the beginning? The B is what's throwing me off. I'm not sure where to put the B. Unless it's, you know, B-E at the end. That's possible. I mean, you've got to do like an L-A something B-E. Oh, that's not going to be good. Okay. I don't know on that one. I'll have to come back to that. What about up here? Do we really have anything? I mean, the N and the D, the E-N-D. Excuse me, but I mean, that could be den something. It could be, there's a lot of possibilities there still. And this one we still think is probably, or at least I still think is probably reefs. I don't know what you think it is, but I still think it's probably reefs. R-E-I-F-S. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with modem. Well, so it gets us a different spot for the D up here, but it doesn't help us with the E. I'm tempted to do minor because it still checks the M for modem, and it also helps us with the N up here. But I feel like niner is almost as likely, and I feel pretty good about modem down here. Okay, I'm gonna go with modem. Okay, it was modem, good. Oh, and it's not minor. See? There's no M in it. So I think it's either N-I something E-R. I mean, Niger is a country, or Niger. I think it's probably pronounced Niger. I don't know, I haven't done enough Octordle to know if country names would be acceptable. What else could it be? So it's either N-I something E-R. I think that would have to be niner. And so in that case, it's the N is in the third position as well, which is fine, but what could this be? No, I don't think so. I think it's gotta be niner. All right, I'm gonna go with niner. Oh, it's not niner. What is it? N-I? I mean, nixer? Is that a word? Oh, shoot. Nixer is apparently a word. All right, well, up here we've got a D in the third position now, and the N, so it could be end something, E-N-D, but then what's it gonna be? It's not end-er, because we can't put the E or the R in there, end, so that can't be it. What about this one? Ooh, what about radio? Oh, no, it can't be radio because there's no R, but there's an A, I, and O, and yeah, we know where the D and the O are, so if it's not radio, and there's no I or O in the second position, so it feels like you almost have to have a vowel before the D, unless there's two Ds, something like that. But then audio, we didn't do a U, I bet it's audio. So that would be good, that's gonna let us check U in other places. So let's go with audio. Now, ironically, I commented about how people like to start with ado and audio, and I wasn't gonna do that. And if I had started with audio, I would have got one immediately, but that's all right. Okay, so we got the I up here, so it's looking, oh, no, it's not Reefs, because the I is in the fourth position. So it's a good thing we didn't guess that. Okay, so R, E, F, and S. I mean, it could end in I-E, but then you'd have RFS at the beginning, which isn't gonna work. So it can't be IE. So it's gotta be, it can't be IR, so that'd be IF or IS. If we do that, then the beginning is, oh, serif. Serif seems likely. I like serif there. Okay, let's remember serif. I'm gonna come down here, because we've got an A at the beginning now. B, L, M, and E. I mean, I would say album has gotta be an E somewhere in there. What? B, L, E, and M. Amble. Okay, it's gotta be amble. Got a anagram enough in my head to make it work. Okay, it's gotta be amble. I'm gonna go with amble. Okay, good. Got 3 words left, and we've got 4 guesses left, so these are gonna have to be good guesses. Okay, okay, we've eliminated another spot for the E, but we kinda knew the E wasn't last up here anyways. I think it's gotta be serif, doesn't it? Ooh, we located the E here. Ooh, and we, oh, I didn't see the U. Nude. Ooh, it could be undo. That seems pretty good. I mean, the U either has to be at the beginning or in the fourth position, or both. The N, I mean, the N has to be in the second position. There's no doubt about that, because we know the third is D, the fifth is E, the N can't be first or fourth. It must be something N, D, something E. One of those has to be a U. If you do this, I mean, it has to be undo, right? What else is gonna be at the beginning? And it would have to be E or U, and it can't be undo. Oh, that's a word apparently? Oh no. Undo. Is it undo or is it undo? Okay. So let's save that one. Nixer, I think it has to be, what else could it be? It has to be either N-I or E or R, and that's not a word. You can't, there's no way you can do a double I or, no, that's not gonna work. So it's either gotta be an N, which it can't be an N, because right here, we tried that. So it has to be one of these letters that we haven't used yet. And Niter would be possible. Let's see, does it accept, oh, it does accept Niger. That is interesting. Okay, and up here, we're pretty sure it's serif, but is that gonna help us with either of the other ones? No, it's not. None of these 3 are gonna help us with each other now. Well, so one thing I could do, I could do enter. Now that's not gonna help us here, but what that lets us do is it checks the E at the first position for undo versus undo, and it also lets us check the T as a possibility for niter. It'd be nice to check more than that. If I could get an X or a G in there for Niger and Nixer, that would be great. So if I could do, Because it doesn't even have to be this T in the third position. I just need to know, is there a T in this word? Extra. What about extra? That puts the E at the beginning. It doesn't help us with what we think is serif, but it checks the E at the beginning here, and it lets us know if there's an X or a T in this word. And I'm pretty sure it's gonna have to be Niger if it's not, or if it's not Nixer or Niter, it's gonna have to be Niger, I think. Now, the downside to this is we're wasting a guess, in a sense. I mean, we know we're not gonna get it right, but we've only got 4 guesses left, so we can only have one. I wish I could put the R in the third position up here. That would be super helpful. What about X-ray? No, because we need to know about the T as well as the X. Do something like exert, but that's not, again, that's still not really helping us up there. Although it does check 2 more positions for the E, so that would pretty much tell us if the E is the second letter. I think exert might be my best option here. It's gonna check the E up here, it's gonna check X and T here, and it's gonna eliminate, hopefully eliminate 2 more positions for the E. If I'm right about what the word is, then we should be eliminating the E's there. All right, I'm gonna go with exert. Okay. Ooh, so, yep. So it did what we wanted it to do. Yep. So this is not an E. So this has to be undo. I think it has to be. Okay, good. It's undo. This one doesn't have an X or a T. So it's N-I something E-R. We know it's not an X, but I'm putting that in there as a stand-in. Now, we've been through this, but it can't be an R, can't be an N, can't be an I or an E, so it has to be a letter we haven't used. Q, I don't think that's a word. G is what we think. J, I don't. K, V, C, Z. I don't think any of those are words. I think it has to be a G. I don't want to just type them all in and see if it pops up as an acceptable word, but I'm trying to see if any of those look like actual words. I mean, I could just type them in and see if it changes color to tell if it's a real word or not. But Niver, I don't think is. Oh, nicer. I was going through the keyboard, you know, G, J, and I had K, so in my head I'm saying Niker. Niker isn't a word. And when I got to it's a C, again I was saying Niker. It's nicer. Oh no. Now that seems much more likely than a G, but it could still be Niger. Or Niger, I don't even know how you pronounce it. Okay, well, let's go up here. Serif, I still feel, so the E has to be second. Yes. Okay, so we know it's something I, or something E, something I, something. And we have to use F, S, and R. So let's just think about what it could be. So we know serif is a possibility. If the F is at the end, it's either serif or resif, which can't be a word. I don't think so. I don't think that's a word. Okay, so the F is only at the end if it's serif. If the S is at the end, then it's refis. Oh, refies? That's an abbreviation. Oh, apparently that's an acceptable word though. Refies, that seems like, I don't like that, because that's kind of an abbreviation. It's like a short version of refinances, I believe, so. But it looks like maybe it accepts that. All right, well, I don't like refis, so I'm gonna go with serif. I hope that's right. Okay, good. And then the other one, I think it has to be nicer. I know I was thinking Niger before, or Niger, or whatever, but nicer is a nicer word, in my opinion. A less obscure word. How about that? So last hope, last chance, last guess. We got it. Okay. Whew. All right. So we got all of them. It was a little close at the end there. I was a little worried. I should have thought of nicer a lot earlier, but you know? Sometimes that happens. You pronounce a word the wrong way and it just doesn't sound like a word. So if you did today's Octordle, let me know how you did with it. And yeah, I'm gonna go do something else that doesn't use my brain for a little bit. And I'll see you again soon with some more puzzles. Thanks. Bye.